Okay guys, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Now, fasten your seatbelts. Here we go. Alright guys, I'm back. It's Tuesday, February the 18th, and it is 9:23 p.m. I have had a huge problem tonight, and so I'm late. But I didn't even think that I was going to be able to record tonight because something happened to my computer. It was very strange, and blip, everything was gone. I had 3 separate documents that I was working on for 3 shows, and they were just gone, just like that. So I have, with a lot of work, been able to recover them. So I'm going to go ahead and record, at least get us caught up to date with the Q post. And I did intend on, I let you guys know that I wasn't going to be posting on Sunday, and I meant to on Monday, but I fell asleep. I just laid down for a second. Oh, I'm just going to rest my eyes. I woke up at like midnight. So I'm well rested anyway. But anyway, enough of that. Let's get into this and hope that there's no other problems that arise tonight, because let me tell you, I've had my share for at least another month. All right, we're going to be getting up to date with the Q post today, but first I want to thank 3 people, Sherry, Kimberly G, and Neil Mank. They contributed via coffee, and I appreciate that so much. There is no advertising on this site at all. I've been demonetized, so it does help the channel to continue, and it helps me to do what I do. I appreciate it very, very much. All right. Let's go on and let's just get right into the Q post. Now, these are all from yesterday. Q was posting up a storm yesterday, so we are going to cover those and get those out of the way first, and then we'll see how much time I have left, whether I can do another video tonight or not. I'd like to, seeing as I missed 2 nights. So let's just jump in here. All right, this is the first one, and it's post 3868, and it says coordinated tarmac meeting occurred on June 27th, 2016. Hillary Rodham Clinton email investigation ended July 5th, 2016. So we've got 2 links here, and this one right here is actually a link to the Inspector General report, which wouldn't really make too much sense for me to go out there because we can't read the whole report. And but I will leave that in the link, the pinned link. All right, so that you can peruse it at your leisure. Now we are concerned with page 203 here, but we will be going out to look at the other link presently. Just we're going to read this first. The OPA supervisor said that he later learned that former President Bill Clinton's Secret Service detail had contacted Lynch's FBI security detail and let them know that the former president wanted to meet with Lynch. Although Lynch's staff was supposed to receive notice of such requests, witnesses told us that they were not informed of the request from former President Clinton. Coordination? Well, yes, we know now that that meeting was coordinated. They made it seem like, their planes just happened to be there at the same time, and they were talking about grandkids and golf and Brexit and, just chit chat. Well, we know that that is a lie. We've known this for a long time because of Q, but it's now coming out in the news, interestingly enough. So, date of the investigation and announcement was July 5th, and Q says 1 + 1 = 2. Yes, indeed it does. It's going to be a very hot spring, summer, Q. And I don't think he's meaning temperature-wise. So let's take a look at this first. This is the first link that Q left. And let's have a boo at that. All right, the secret tarmac meeting. What happens when Loretta Lynch can no longer provide legal cover for the Clintons? Tarmac meeting _end. Now, this is them meeting. They've got this highlighted, but I'm going to play this in its entirety. It's 2 minutes and 20 seconds long, and I'll make it bigger for you guys.
From the get-go, This just didn't add up, did it?
Not at all. When I broke this story, we knew that something had occurred here that was a bit unusual. It was a planned meeting. It was not a coincidence. It was planned, it happened, and this details everything that they don't want you to know and everything they think you forgot. But Bill Clinton was on that plane for 20 minutes, and it wasn't just about golf, grandkids, Brexit. There's so much that doesn't add up, and even as time has passed, there's so much I think that even Loretta Lynch and Bill Clinton
How do you know it was planned and not just a happenstance? Hey, look, our planes are next to each other.
I have a source that walks me through it from point A to point B to point Z, and my source saw it all unfold and says when Bill Clinton arrived at the airport, he waited. He knew Loretta Lynch was taxiing. The plane was moving. He then sat and waited in his car with the motorcade. Her air stairs come down, most of her staff gets off, he then gets on as the Secret Service and FBI are figuring out how in the world are we supposed to handle this? What are we going to do? You know, this story isn't about right or left, Republican, Democrat, it's about right and wrong in journalism, and that was my focus of this. It's about real journalism, getting to the facts.
But why do you think this didn't get more attention then? I mean, you look at the way that Attorney General Bill Barr is being treated now, you look at the way that the Trump administration has been treated, you think that this would be worthy of more attention than it received and also more scrutiny. Why didn't it get that?
You and I are on the same page on this. As journalists, you have to ask yourself, why are people not delving into this? Why are we not looking into what exactly happened? Loretta Lynch, in December of 18, she went before House Judiciary Committee, House Oversight Committee, excuse me, and testified. And in there, she mentioned that Bill Clinton flattered her, talked about Eric Holder, talked about how things were going at Justice, talked about her job performance, not this golf, grandkids, Brexit.
Well, and you've paid the price for this career-wise. What kind of threats or what have you received?
Well, my family received significant death threats shortly after breaking this story. Credit contact. You know, my children, we have code words, we have secret code words that they know what to do. And that's why I came back to WBMA, ABC 3340 in Birmingham, because when I was enduring the death threats,
So, and that's the end of that. So, very interesting, isn't it? That this is coming out in the news now. I mean, we've known the deal on this for a very long time. I mean, way back when Q started posting. So anyway, let's go back now. And thankfully, see, this is exactly where I was the last time, and all my documents here disappeared. I have 3 there. They're all 3 of these are separate shows that I'm going to be doing. And yeah, they were gone. It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life. All right, and I had autosave on too, but they were gone. All right, that's my pain. That's, you know, my cross to bear, I guess. It's what happens when you're talking about subjects that other people don't want you talking about. All right, now, let's take a look at this. This by Dio Presso Lieber or SunQ2 on Twitter. Great person to follow. And it says Q links to Karluska P post regarding Fox News Channel interview of Christopher Sine, who wrote the new book revealing details on the meeting between Bill Clinton and Loretta Lynch in 2016 on the tarmac in Little Rock. Clinton's Secret Service detail contacted Lynch's security and requested a meeting, but Lynch's staff never received notice of this meeting. It was a coordinated meeting that Lynch tried to keep off the books. Shortly after the meeting, the FBI investigation into Hillary was wrapped up with no charges being filed. Talk about quid pro quo. Yeah, this was the quid pro quo of prid quo. This was the prid quo pro quo of prid quo. Oh, I can't say that. Quid pro quo of quid pro quos. There you go. Now you try to say it. See if you do any better. All right, the tarmac meeting took place in late June 2016, and the DOJ decided not to pursue charges against Clinton around July 5th, 2016. The investigation was reopened by Comey in October and then closed out again early November before the election, when Comey said the new emails did not change anything. Q says it's going to be a hot spring summer. The fact will come out about the tarmac meeting and the real quid pro quo offered from Hillary to Lynch to make sure the investigation, not charges, were dropped. Q told us that Loretta Lynch was offered a Supreme Court seat by Bill if she went along with the plan and made sure the investigation into Hillary was killed. As you may recall, Comey was forced, likely by NSA or U.S. military, to reopen the investigation in October. Important to note that Lynch was recorded several times in conversation about tarmac meeting with Rosenstein. FISA works both ways. POTUS likely obtained a FISA warrant on Lynch. Amanda Renteria was the bridge between Loretta Lynch and Hillary. With Q saying it's going to be a hot spring and summer, this leads me to believe we will not see arrests until after the 2020 election. Perhaps we will see unsealed indictments, but there is a lot more that needs to play out for public to see corruption. And I would agree with that totally. So I think that is it for that post, and we're going to go on to the next. And here we have drop 3869. Dershowitz, I have proof Obama ordered FBI investigation at request of George Soros. At the request of George Soros. Yes, indeed. Now, Q is put this in here, and this is from a quote from, well, this is a post from Q from the 23rd of December 2019, so not that long ago. And he says, watch and listen carefully. The Democrats threaten and call independently elected officials to fall in line, follow orders, or face being ousted. Now, he's asking that as a question, but as we know, Q's questions are never really questions. They are statements. So, yes, they do threaten and call independently elected officials to either fall in line or get out. Who controls the Democrat Party? Who really controls the Democrat Party? Well, obviously, George Soros does, to a certain extent. Threat. If a major political party can be controlled, does that represent a clear and present danger to the United States of America? Absolutely it does. And then he has in little kill brackets here, George Soros. So that is who Q is intimating is in control of the Democratic Party. And I would agree with that. I think we've seen enough by now to know what that's true. I mean, even without Q saying it, I think we can see that with our own eyes. But had Q not provided us with all the foundational information, we wouldn't be sitting here knowing that just off the cuff. So Q has actually given us over the last couple years a lot of information, more than most of us are even aware of. Now we take it for granted, because when you don't know something and you first learn it, it's like, oh, wow. But then, after you've learned it and someone mentions it, it's like, oh, yeah, I know that. Well, see, he's provided all this background information, or we would be clueless right now as to what was happening. We really would. But let's go down here, because that's not the end of that. And then he says, purpose, Democrats install numerous rules and regulations regarding the Democrat Party nomination winner, define superdelegates. Now, this was part up here. That was the one that we just looked at here. Let me do this. Up here, this part of the post was from the 23rd of December. Now Q down here is adding to it, and this is from yesterday. The purpose, the Democrats install numerous rules and regulations regarding Democrat Party nomination winner. He's asking it as a question, but it's really not a question. It's a statement. Define superdelegates. How do you control the outcome? Why is the outcome important? When George Soros calls, who races to answer? Illusion of democracy. Q. Well, when George Soros calls, it's the deep state that runs, and more specifically, the Democrats. Not that the deep state is entirely made up of Democrats by any stretch of the imagination, but They most certainly do run when he calls. So what is, or who are the superdelegates? Superdelegates are either members of the Democratic National Committee, elected officials serving as a governor or member of Congress, and distinguished party leaders. Unlike at-large or district-level delegates, they are neither elected by Democratic presidential primary voters nor required to pledge their support to a specific presidential candidate. Beginning with the 2020 presidential election, they are prohibited from voting on the first ballot at a contested national convention. In 2020, there will be an estimated, an estimated 764 superdelegates. The Democratic National Committee is expected to confirm the names of the automatic delegates by state no later than March 6, 2020. So that answers that question. And the superdelegate system controls who the Democrat candidate will be. The candidate will be whoever George Soros decides he or she will be. That's it. Now, we're going to look at this. Q left us a link here to a Twitter account by Ryan Saavedra, and we're going to look at this. And I have clipped it out for us. Dershowitz, I have proof Obama ordered FBI investigation at request of George Soros. Yeah. All right. Now, this this headline is taken from the Daily Wire. Dershowitz, I have proof. And let's go out to the actual news item. Dershowitz, I have proof Obama ordered FBI investigation at request of George Soros. This is from yesterday. Harvard Law School professor emeritus Alan Dershowitz revealed in an interview on Sunday that he has proof that former Democrat President Barack Obama ordered the FBI to investigate someone after far-left billionaire George Soros asked for the investigation. Dershowitz's remarks come after critics have attacked President Donald Trump for tweeting about matters related to the Department of Justice, which led to Attorney General William Barr publicly asking the president to stop last week. And there was a lot of White House control of the Justice Department during the Kennedy administration, and I don't think we saw very many liberal professors arguing against that, Dershowitz told Breitbart News. I have some information as well about the Obama administration, which will be disclosed in a lawsuit at some point, but I'm not prepared to disclose it now, about how President Obama personally asked the FBI to investigate someone on behalf of George Soros, who was a close ally of his. We've seen this kind of White House interference on the Justice Department virtually in every Justice Department, Dershowitz continued. The difference, this president is much more overt about it. He tweets about it. President Obama whispered to the Justice Department about it. You said that George Soros asked Barack Obama to have his Justice Department investigate someone, Breitbart News pressed. That's going to come out in a lawsuit in the near future. Yeah, Dershowitz responded. I have in my possession the actual 302 form, which documents this issue, and it will be at the right time, and it will at the right time come out, but I'm not free to disclose it now because it's a case that's not yet been filed. So, President Barack Obama personally asked the FBI to investigate someone on behalf of George Soros. So, yeah, I don't think that there's anything more to this. All right. So, and who do you think that was that Obama ordered the FBI to investigate? Well, that would be, I believe, he is speaking about Donald Trump. I believe. All right, now let's go back now and we can go on to the next drop, which is 3870. 3870. Corporate media is politically motivated and controlled. Yes, yes, they are. So this is from yesterday, and we've got a picture of Time magazine here, and you can see that it's actually a picture of the White House being made over into the image of the Kremlin. People around the world are waking up to the fact, not fiction, that the corporate Democrat Party, politically controlled, 6 corporations own 90% of the media, fake news. It's not unbiased journalism, but politically motivated and controlled statements, not facts. Think for yourself and stop being a sheep to their narrative. They will be held accountable. Nobody walks away from this. Q. So that is a good, I can't remember why. Okay, hang on here. Let's come down here. This is by Dio Presso Liber, Sun Q2 on Twitter. Soros owns the Democrat Party and many Republicans. He finances their elections and he launders money through organizations like Planned Parenthood. Q reiterating post that states no one walks away from this. Soros will be held accountable. Will he be the first major arrest? Hussein takes orders from Daddy Soros. All the Dems do. The truth must be exposed before these major arrests can take place. Soros owns Chuck Schumer as well. He takes orders only from P. Lots of debate as to who P is, but I believe P is likely the Pope, either the Pacers or the Pope. And remember, we had these discussions back a while ago because we know that Soros takes his direction from this P, but there has been a lot of debate as to who P is. And the two main theories on that is that it's either the Pope or Pacers. And that is kind of an old discussion at this point. So let's go on. I cannot remember why this is in there. So let's go on. That's not from Q. All right. Now we are on drop 3871. 3871. Did George Soros order Obama to investigate Trump? Yes. Yes, he did. So we have a link here and it says, do people really believe this attack can happen against the President of the United States and nothing will happen? Moves and counter moves. Q. Well, let's go see what this is, shall we? Of course we shall. I'm not going to come all this way and not investigate it. All right. Is this who George Soros made puppet Hussein investigate? I ran, I won. I was investigated, and it could have been the UK, by Australia, could have been by Italy. I was investigated by the Obama administration. So let's listen to our president. And hang on here.
Tremendous corruption against me. If we feel there's corruption, we have a right to go to a foreign country. And just so you know, I was investigated. Okay, me, in my campaign, I ran, I won. You won't say that, will you? I was investigated, and they think it could have been by UK, they think it could have been by Australia, they think it could have been by Italy. So when you get down to it, I was investigated by the Obama administration. I was investigated. So when these people talk, but as far as I'm concerned, what I want to look at and what we want to investigate, anything having to do with corruption. There was tremendous corruption against me. If we feel this,
and that is so true. And you can hear they're not going to let him talk. They're going to keep throwing, their questions out there, trying to get him off track and off kilter and whatever. It's unbelievable how this president is treated, to tell you the truth. I've never seen the likes of it. And I hope I never see the likes of it again. Not in America. I mean, I just would not expect that in America. But that's what we have. Unbelievable. Okay, let's go back now. And I said down here, George Soros was the one who gave the order to Obama to investigate Trump. So I think we can say with almost certainty up here that the question is who did George Soros was told to investigate someone. Well, I think we can say with certainty that that someone was President Trump. All right, now let's come down to the next one, which happens to be the last one. And the last one is the last drop, and that brings us up to date. There have been no drops since this. Drop 3872, 3872, game over. To be blunt, says Q, game over. Q. Now, when have we heard that language before? Well, this is the one that we have right now, the 17th of February, which was yesterday. And let's look at December 11th of 2017. Do you believe in coincidences? Blunt and direct time. BDT. Think currency, think fireworks, thwarted, message delivered. These people are sick. Q. And over here, February 5th, he used similar language. He said, would POTUS make a serious accusation if the truth wasn't about to come to light? Black Forest, Austria, Rothschild, fire sale, days after post? What went on there? Dopey, you have more than you know. Q. Then, beneath that, he said, blunt statement. Blunt statement. Q. Then, on December 10th, 2017, he said, blunt and direct time. Adam Schiff is a traitor to our country. Leaker, national security, evil, TikTok. Hope the 7.8 million was worth it. Enjoy the show. Q. So these are the times that Q has used the word blunt or blunt and direct time. But here he says to be blunt. Game over. Q. So does it have to do with any of these other things? Could it possibly have something to do with Adam Schiff? Because down here, December 10th, 2017, it's saying blunt and direct time. Adam Schiff is a traitor to our country. I don't know. Or he could be talking about any number of things. Perhaps because he was talking about George Soros and Obama, he's talking about that. And he's referring to be blunt, the game's over. Time's up. Game's over. I don't know. What do you guys think? I'm always eager to see what you have to say in the comments below. So let me know in the comments below what you think and your thoughts on the matter. I am going to end this video here, but it is still early by my standards anyway. So I am going to go ahead and do another video this evening. So all right, guys, thank you so much. And thank you to you guys that donate, that pray for the channel, that contribute in so many ways. It is so much appreciated. You guys are awesome. Now, you guys stay safe, stay well, stay blessed, and keep seeking truth because you know, nobody wants to seek deception because it'll bite you in your hinder parts.